I have been told by so many people to watch the freaking Notebook. I have been told by so many women to watch freaking Notebook. And my mom has said that this is the greatest movie she has ever seen. A lot of people have said that this is probably the greatest thing that man has ever made on this godforsaken spacewalk. And might I tell you, I think that is a very bold statement. I don't think that is the best thing ever created. But I will say, just like Doom, it is a pretty freaking good movie, and I'm gonna break it down. So The Notebook is a very like dramatic, romantic movie, uh, and I saw it I think Friday, and I haven't really got a chance to make a video talking about it because I was just on vacation. But now that I am off vacation, I actually have a chance to talk about it. So The Notebook was honestly an interesting movie. I thought it was gonna be like that, the cliche romantic movie, two people fall in love and all that, like two different people just fall in love. And sure, the movie is kind of like that, but it actually took a turn for like just turn for the greater good. And I think the thing that really surprised me the most is that this is actually a framed narrative movie, so it's actually a story in a story, and I wasn't really expecting that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna talk about the actual frame itself, and then I'll actually go into the picture. So, the frame. So basically, this movie is about two. I think there's like this one guy who's the two old people. One of them is a guy, and one of them is a lady. And the big twist about it is that those two are actually the people who are actually in the picture in the frame, which is Duke and Allie, or as you guys may know them as Noah and Allie. And basically, Allie suffers dementia, and this movie really does like show you like how dementia can really like ruin a relationship. Not like that, but like just like it can like really affect a relationship in general, and even like a family relationship in general. And I think this movie really does like dive in into like see like what dementia really can do to a person. And this movie does it very very well, and I like how they did it like that. So Noah is basically, Noah loves Ali a lot, and basically what happens is that I think Ali wrote her like the story of like their entire love life, like freaking from like 24 years old to like where they are now, or like the very beginning of their life, because the life was pretty cool when they come hooking up with each other. But basically, Ali wrote an entire book, The Notebook, which basically dives in, like tells an actual like freaking novel narrative story about when they first met and the struggles of them actually falling in love. And Ali told Noah that if you read this book to me from start to finish, I will remember who you are. And Noah, like the freaking mad lad that he is, wrote this lady the book every time she forgot about him, even for like that little tiny like hour of like remembrance. He will always read the book to her, and you can see like one of the instances, which is throughout the entire movie. He basically the movie is about him reading the notebook to her, and you also see the story of how they met and all that. And throughout the like the young selves they are, throughout the movie, you can see how he is like always like reading to her, no matter like outside or eating or even like sleeping. Like he is always though reading it to Ali, so Ali can remember who he is, and then once he finishes the story, she remembers. And Noah is very determined to basically make her remember, even for like that little split second, just like even for like a tiny moment, you know, he can actually dance with her, and he can actually like have a good time with her, no matter like what, even for that little like this, it really shows how determined he will always read that notebook to her, like for even the littlest amount of time, and that is right there. It's called determination, and it also does show like the freaking hardness of dementia and all that. And it's sad. Like this was a very sad movie. I was almost about ready to cry. I'm not someone who cries a lot. There's only been a few instances where I did cry, and one of those instances I do remember from the top of my head was Red Dead Redemption 2, the ending that made me cry actually. Other than that, there wasn't really a lot of things that has got me closer to crying. Probably the second thing that got me close to crying was The Walking Dead season 1 to maybe season 2, and that's about it. So I know there's some other things out there that made me cry in terms of entertainment, but this movie also got me very close to that, shedding tear. Maybe if that movie went on for like another 30 minutes, I'll probably feel like a tear coming down my face. I'm like, oh shoot, I'm crying. That's what would happen. And it was a very sad movie. You know, my mom was crying. I was watching it with my parents. You know, she was crying. My dad wasn't crying. I don't think he was really paying attention to the movie, to be honest. But I was, and I loved it a lot. So yeah, basically after Noah reads the notebook to Allie, she has that big freaking euphoric like thing like, oh my god, I remember who you are, and they start crying. She hugs him. They do a little dance. They eat dinner with each other, and all of a sudden, Allie has a panic attack where she doesn't know who Noah is, and honestly, that almost got me on the verge of tears. Freaking imagine just like you spend time with this lady, and then she just freaks out and has a panic attack, and she's like hitting you and all that, and they're crying because, oh my god, this is sad. Like, oh, it's hard to explain that. And then obviously when that happens, and she's having that panic attack, that's when Noah says, you know what, I'm doing this again, and he has a feeling that he'll do it again, but sadly this would be the last time that he'll do it, because I think Allie remembers again. So when Allie is, I think, laying on the bed, she's just there, like, about ready to die. Noah comes in, leaving his deathbed. So, like, there's like a nurse that like try to stop him. Then he tells her that I need to see Allie because she's not there, and I want to lay down with her. So the nurse is like being all nonchalant, and she's like, oh my god, go back to your room. I'm gonna leave you here. Let me go get my coffee while her coffee's on the freaking counter. He's like, oh, I'm gonna come get coffee. Don't be foolish. Don't leave. Wink, wink. And then she leaves so that Noah can go to Allie. Noah then lays with Allie, and movie panels up, like this, like it's Breaking Bad, and they both die hugging each other. And that way, there was the frame part of the movie, which was really sad. That really got me into, almost the verge of tears, almost the verge of tears. So it was a very sad thing. If you watch it, I'm pretty sure most of you guys watched this movie, but if you were to watch it, you will see what I'm talking about. So now let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into the actual like picture of this movie. So Ryan Gosling, and I really forgot her name. Hold on, let me give it. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. That's who they are. So they are both, obviously Ryan Gosling being Noah and Rachel McAdams being Allie. And basically what happens is that Allie is like a very like top lady. She's like a aristocracy, money, money, money. Her parents are very, bougie, bougie, poshy, poshy. And, money affects their entire relationship. Like, this entire movie shows how, like, class, money, like, I guess, like, how much money you have, like, determines who you are in a relationship. And Noah is just, like, an average, like, mill worker. He makes, like, 10 cents an hour. If you were to put that into inflation numbers, that would be, like, $10 an hour, which is, like, the average allowance of a high schooler and doing a regular job, basically. So he's actually making high schooler money. So basically, Noah and Allie, they really love each other. But Allie's parent, well, obviously, no, let me get to Noah's parents. Noah's dad, I love that guy. Whenever I saw Noah's dad on screen, I actually had a freaking smile on my face because I want to give that guy a freaking dab with the freaking bro hug and, sip beer with him even though I'm 16 years old. But, Noah's dad, no problem at all. Noah's dad loves every, when Allie comes to his house, Noah's dad is so supportive of her and all that. And, it's a cool being dad. But, on the other hand, Allie's parents are the big, antagonists of this entire love life. Basically, Allie's parents doesn't want her to, marry or fall in love with a poor worker, and basically, her parents are forcing her to, marry a rich person. I think his name was Juan or Pan, or I forgot his name. It was the guy who was in the Sonic movies. I forgot his name in the movie. I also forgot his name in the movie. I think it was like James something. I don't remember, but it was, I think, Juan Lon. It was something along those lines. I'm not good with names, of course, but so Allie had to marry this guy instead to make her parents happy, even though Allie literally loves Noah, and Noah is doing all he can to fall in love with her, and it's very, very romantical. That's what he wants. He shows her this cool little house where he promises Allie that I'm gonna build this house and this will be our house until the day we die, and so that it did. And then all of a sudden he sees Allie. Obviously they all love each other. I think they have sex one time, and there was also this awkward moment. I think like probably my only complaint in the movie, it was this very awkward moment where they were like slowly undressing themselves, so they were like looking at each other like they're freaking strangers while they're both taking their clothes off, and that was pretty awkward. And then there's other things that happen in the movie. There's like a lot of sexual uh, innuendos in this movie, like a lot of sexual content in this movie. I wasn't expecting it to happen, or I wasn't expecting it to be this, that I guess like that harsh. But it happens. It's a romantic movie. What are you supposed to expect? Sunshine, rainbows, and fist bumps, and sleeping on the floor and all that? No, it's a romantic movie. So obviously, Allie has to marry this guy, and then Noah is all depressed because you know, t- her parents hate him so much because he's poor, and that's a stupid thing to look at. If you look at someone because they're poor, and you don't think that they're gonna be a good partner to, your one of your kin members, that is a very stupid mindset that you need to readjust the entire life. So Allie marries obviously the rich person. She doesn't look happy. Every time that Allie sees a picture of Noah, she bursts into tears. Every time Noah heals, or even like his dad mentioned Allie. He's like in this depressed state. He's hooking up with like a lady that looks like Allie. Obviously, he doesn't like her, and she's like all nonchalant about it. And then all of a sudden, just about it, like Lon or Juan or whatever the frick his name is, proposes to Allie. She's happy, she says yes, and then the wedding happens, and all of a sudden she gets like a newspaper in her hand saying like, you know, Noah built this entire house. He built this house from dust to, from like blood, sweat, and tears. And Noah's like, all happy about it because he promised Allie that he would build that house for her, from scratch, and that he did. He re-renovated it, and he's selling it, but he doesn't want to sell it because that was his promise to Allie. And when Allie saw that he finished the house on a newspaper, she burst into tears crying, and she actually went to the address to see Noah. So, Noah's all the freaking depressed guy. And then Allie pops up. Noah's all like shocked, bewildered, and then they, look themselves inside. They talk, have coffee, they say, we can be friends, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, boom, they have sex. So now Allie is fornicating with this guy. She's obviously, that Allie's supposed to be with Noah and all that. But I always had that weird intention in my mind that, okay, so Allie is married. Like, she's not married, she's engaged, or like fiancé or whatever. She has a fiance, and she's out here freaking having sex with another man and making out with another man, which is kind of, in the back of my head, like, wow, that's crazy, you can't be doing that. But obviously this movie is just a movie, and obviously they fall in love again because they miss each other much. They do the willy tutti ta 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 ta, and hopefully that they didn't, make a baby and all that. But obviously they all have fun with each other. Her mom finds out that, she's spending time with him, and she's all mad about it, of course. But all of a sudden, the big plot twist occurs, that her mom actually had the same exact situation happen to her as she is doing it to Allie. So, Allie's mom actually did the exact same thing as she did. She actually fell in love with a male worker, but due to, I think, her parents, I guess, or like whatever, she actually married, Allie's dad because he was an upper class guy, aristocracy, nobility, freaking, I have so much money, 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 Mr. Krabs right here. And that's why she married him. And she is very sad that she didn't, wasn't able to marry the male worker, because I'm pretty sure that male worker that she loved would have treated her way better than, her husband. So, and then after, like, that thing, Allie's like, she hates her mom now after she told that story. Now she loves her freaking mom. And then her mom says, you know what, daughter or whatever, Allie or whatever, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm talking about. But, her mom says, Allie, you know what, do what you want. Yeah, this is your life, you're not a kid anymore, you're like 18 years old. Do what you want. If you want to marry Lon, go ahead and do it. If you want to marry this guy or do what you want with Noah, you do it. I'm not gonna, that's your life. I'm gonna leave you alone. And then she books it out of there. And now, obviously, Allie's happy, Noah's happy. They move into each other, And Lon finds out about it. He's mad. He says, you know what? If there's three ways I can do it. I can either kill him, I can leave you, or I can. There was like another option. I forgot what it was, but Lon was not happy about it. She was scared, and then Lon said, you know what? If you're happy with this guy, just do it. I'm gonna leave you now. And he leaves. I don't know. We don't really see what happens after that. So apparently everything went fine. Noah's not dead. He's not hanging the freaking slit throat like he's freaking that one lady from Halloween. And they're happy. So Allie moves into the house that Noah has built her, promised her most. And next thing you know, boom, that's the entire story, which then connects to the frame narrative that Allie now remembers what happens, and then they all have fun. So that's basically the Notebook. It was a very interesting movie. Obviously, I literally summarized it the best I could, and it was literally just me trying my best to like freaking, put into like a little video I can try to explain a little bit. But it was honestly a very interesting movie. Obviously, there were some weird things happening. Freaking a lady who's like engaged is having sex with like another person, or like that's like some awkward moments. I wasn't really expecting there to be like very hard sexual things, but it does really get into it, like The Simpsons. There was some like war, because this was in 1945. Well, it was at the midst of World War One, and it was cool seeing like old time stuff, like old time cars, old time buildings. The pay rate of everything. How rich people act and all that. And it's kind of cool how this like it sends like two messages to you, like how bad dementia really is in one of the narratives, and then on the other narrative have like a long time ago class, and like how much money you make really does depend on who you are as a person, to be honest. And Darwin really made that, not Darwin, Marx, I think, like class consciousness, I guess. And it really does show those two messages in those movies. And it's cool. I really love it when movies take on the frame narrative, even when like stories also take on the frame narrative. I think it's a very interesting thing to do. And when you tell like a story in a story, it's really nice. So I wasn't really like, my biggest surprise about this movie was that it was a frame narrative. I wasn't expecting it to be. I thought it was just gonna be like a Ryan Gosling movie. Fall in love, two different people fall in love with each other. Mama. But it was really, really good. So if I was to rate this movie, out of like a 10, this will honestly, like, for a romantic movie, I'm not really big in romantic movies, but I think as a romantic movie, I think this was really good. It really got me there, almost on the verge of tears. So I'm gonna give this good movie a good little 8 out of 10. It was a good little movie. Obviously, there was some real things happening. It's not the perfect movie, but it was honestly a surprising movie. So I think a 8 out of 10 is honestly a good option for me. So yeah, very good movie. I was expecting, what, whatever, what everybody was saying to me about this movie, what, I agree with you guys. It's pretty good movie. So yeah, way better than La La Land. Fuck off, that's my opinion. Way, way better than La La Land. That this movie was way, way better than La La Land. But yeah, that's it. The Notebook, really, really good movie. If you haven't seen it, even though I told you the entire synopsis of it, watch it so you can actually experience it for yourself. To the people who have seen this movie, my message to you, I wish I could have watched it sooner. It was amazing. So yeah, I might watch this again. Also, wait, before I go, my little thing about my mom is that she watched this movie multiple times, and she still cries at it at most. So I feel like if I watch this movie again, like 3 years from now, hopefully that if I have a girlfriend or a wife, hopefully we can watch it together and we can cry, together as a family. Or if not, friends. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching.